remember, Western media also has had a certain bias and perspective when it comes to specifically the reporting on India. And here's what Washington Post, one of the articles quoting Canadian officials, has said, that a wider campaign by the Modi government against Sikhs is alleged. Remember, India maintains this is definitely not about the community. This is about extremist criminal elements who are a part of this pro-Khalistan project. According to the report that has come in, claiming 6 Indian envoys were directly involved in crimes on Canadian soil, there's an operational chain, and that 6 secessionists are being targeted. Canada has even alleged a Lawrence Vishnoy gang, who we recently heard with an unverified claim of Baba Siddiqui's murder. All the way Canada is connecting to perhaps its work being done in Canada too. The Washington Post claims that the top Indian government official was confronted by Vishnoy's involvement in these attacks, also acknowledging, though, that this has been the history. But the government official denied knowing that, very interesting, that not much about the history of it. Terry, I bring you here. What about, these gang wars that India is being pinned with the blame on, rather than realize that there is in Canada full-on gang wars possibly taking place?
Yeah, well, right from the start, at the very dawn of the Khalistan movement, Canada took the position that it's not our problem, it's an Indian problem. I mean, when Air India blew up, sorry to harp on that, in 1985,
Correct.
most of the victims were Canadian citizens of Indian origin, and we sent condolences to India. And so it's your problem. It's an Indian plane. It's your problem. We're not overly exercised about it. But what's happening, yes, is that the Western media sees this with a different eye. And
yes,
the Indian watcher of the mainstream media in India, they see something different. They are not steeped in this history of Khalistani violence. They did not experience.
Terry, have you seen over your years in Canada anything like this? Because this is what India believes, that it has been pushed to take a stand of this manner. In Canadian politics, have you ever seen two countries with regard to Canada ever fail or downgrade relationship like this?
No, this is something quite unique, where we're now at the stage of kicking out not the junior diplomats, but the top diplomats. Where do you go after that? Well, you don't, except to some sort of cold peace, I suppose.
Correct.
We might expect. But what I began to say is, I think that the reason behind what you're describing quite correctly, a different, you call it a bias of the Western media.
Yes.
Media, most people in the United States or the UK, where there are so many Sikhs, or in Canada, they did not experience and know absolutely nothing. There were 20,000 people killed in an absolutely savage insurgency by the Khalistanis in Punjab in the 1980s and the early 90s. They don't know about that. They think that what's happening is that Indians are going after nice, helpful Khalistan.
That's why, Terry, it's your, and I'm glad that you know it. I appreciate your knowledge about it, because that's perhaps the reason that many more need to know about it, specifically in the Western nations. Appreciate you joining us, Terry Mileski, Global Khalistan Project. He's extensively written on the Khalistan Project. So there are going to be a lot of perspectives that we'll continue to bring to you and to ensure that you know what's happening between India and Canada.